All right, let's dive into something pretty wild that's happening in the world of digital streaming in India. It's this massive, booming market, but it's not just growing, it's actually splitting right down the middle in a way that you probably wouldn't expect.
First, just to get a sense of the scale we're talking about, look at this number. By 2025, India's streaming audience is expected to hit 601.2 million people. That's a huge number, and it's a jump of almost 10% in just 1 year. We are talking about one of the biggest and fastest growing digital audiences anywhere on Earth.
Okay, but here's where the plot thickens. Inside that incredible growth, there's a really interesting puzzle. See, the market isn't just moving in one single direction. Instead, you've got two totally opposite trends that are both exploding at the same time, pulling viewers towards two very different kinds of futures. And at the center of this whole thing are two main players. On one side, you have the big screen premium experience of connected TV. And on the other, you have the bite-sized, built-for-your-phone world of microdramas. You can really think of it as the living room sofa versus the palm of your hand. And believe me, these two experiences could not be more different. With connected TV or CTV, it's all about getting together on the couch, watching with other people, and settling in for a long-form movie or a series. But then you have microdramas, which are made for just one person on their phone to watch in quick little bursts. And get this, both of them are absolutely on fire. The CTV audience jumped by an incredible 85% in just 1 year. At the same time, microdramas, which are basically a brand new thing, pulled in over 73 million viewers in less than 12 months. So these aren't just little niche trends. This is the market making two gigantic bets at the exact same time. So that leads us to the really big question. Who are these people? Are we talking about the same viewers just switching between their big and small screens? Well, when you look at the data, it turns out their profiles are just as different as their viewing habits. So let's start with CTV. We can see that almost half, 46% of its audience are paid subscribers. That's what we call SVOD. Now, that is way higher than the market average, and it tells us that this is a more affluent user base, people who are willing to pay for premium content, a perfect target for those high-end advertisers. Now, let's flip over to microdramas, and wow, it is a completely different story. A huge 75% of their audience watches on free ad-supported platforms. That's AVOD. This model looks a lot more like the rest of India's streaming universe, which suggests it's a strategy all about getting as many eyeballs as possible. It's about sheer volume. And here's where we see a major geographic split. CTV is mostly an urban thing, with only about a quarter of its viewers coming from rural areas. But microdramas? They're the complete opposite. A massive 55% of their audience is from rural India. It's pretty amazing proof that content can reach huge new audiences through mobile-only access deep in the country's heartland. Okay, so let's recap. We've got two different formats, attracting two totally different audiences who pay in different ways and live in different parts of the country. So the question has to be, are they even really competing with each other? And the data gives us a surprisingly clear answer. There is almost no overlap. None. Out of a combined audience of over 200 million people, fewer than 15 million watch both. This tells us it's not one big audience with different tastes. It's more like two separate, distinct digital nations. The differences just keep stacking up. CTV is all about that shared, immersive experience on a big TV screen. Microdramas are about personal, quick-hit moments on a vertical phone screen. They just don't compete because they're for completely different things. One is for the family movie night, and the other is for your daily commute. So why? Why is this split happening? Well, it's not random. It actually reflects two incredibly powerful forces that are shaping digital India right now, something we can call an upward movement and an outward movement. The growth of connected TV, that's India's upward movement. It's all about households with rising incomes upgrading their TVs and their internet and wanting those high-quality, premium experiences. At the same time, the microdrama explosion, that's India's outward movement. That's digital access pushing further and further into rural, mobile-first markets with content that's free and super easy to jump into. And that really brings us to the single biggest insight here. This quote just nails it. They aren't competing because they don't even exist in the same world. One is serving the desire for something better, while the other is serving the fundamental need for access.
And both are absolutely vital for where India's digital story is going. So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, it's that the Indian market is really settling into what looks like a two-device future. The big TV in the living room and the personal smartphone in your pocket, they're not rivals. They're actually becoming two equal pillars of how we watch things, and they serve completely different parts of Indian life.
And that leaves us with one final, really important question for anyone creating content or building a platform in this space. In a market that is so clearly moving down two separate, powerful paths at the same time, is a one-size-fits-all strategy just doomed from the start? Definitely something to think about.